What's going on, guys? MakerMods here, back at it again with another new video. Today we're taking a look at the cow switch from Infinity Key. It comes in two variants and a bunch of different colors, and we're going to be talking about both variants today. We have a pretty long video ahead, so let's get right into it. First, who is Infinity Key? According to their website, Infinity Key is based out of Vietnam. They were also the runner for the Dogecoin linears, so this isn't their first switch rodeo. Let's talk about the specs. The cow switch comes in two variants, UWU or non-UWU. The UWU comes with a UMWUP or ultra high molecular weight polyethylene stem, and the non-UWU comes with a palm stem. As far as the housing material and the manufacturer, Infinity Key has decided to keep it a secret. And I don't know why they're trying to keep the switch material a secret and the manu a secret. Maybe there's some type of patent or copyright. Very strange. So the UMWUP switch uses a 63.5 gram spring, and the UMWUP switch has 3.69 millimeters of travel, whereas the non-UMWUP or palm stem uses 3.14 millimeters of travel. So if we compare the palm stem, 14.68 in a cream is 13.38. So the cream is known to have a long pole stem, and yet the cow switch is significantly longer pole. One thing that's interesting to note though, because the bottom housing has a longer pole housing, essentially, you're not going to notice the longer pole because it doesn't lead to a quicker bottom out. So this is 4.33 millimeters. So it appears, other than mine other than the color, I guess, the bottom housings are identical. So the only difference is the stem itself. Pretty clear actually from this photo that the non-UWU has a longer pole. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Let's go to the typing tests. First, we have the stock UWU cow. Next is the stock non-UWU cow. So let's talk about how I feel about the stock experience on both of these switches. Starting with the UWU cow, I've tested a lot of switches, and I would have to say that the stock UWU cow is probably my favorite stock linear that I've ever used to date. It's smooth. It was so smooth that my fingers felt like I was typing on butter. It's smooth. I mean, the sound is kind of another thing. I'm not a huge fan of the sound. Unlubed and unfilmed is a little clacky for me, a little higher pitched. But in terms of smoothness, these were they were among the smoothest switch I've ever used. And also, maybe it's like everything about the switch is just perfect for me. The spring weight, I prefer a 63.5 gram spring weight, and so Tangies, the ones that I have with the 67 gram, maybe don't feel quite as refined to me. It's just personal preference once again. But I have to say I was very pleasantly surprised by the UWU cow. Now the non-UWU cow is also a good switch. I enjoyed the typing experience, but other than like that long pull, quick bottom out, there wasn't really too much to write home about. I mean, smoothness is fine. You know, the sound is okay. You do get that quick bottom out, but not that unique kind of raindroppy sound that you get with broken in creams. And so, you know, it's a fine switch. It's not bad. Now let's listen to the switches lubed and filmed with Krytox 205G0 and Durock clear switch films. After typing on and listening to the lubed and filmed versions, I personally prefer obviously lube and film. One other thing that I really have to note is that the UU switch was so smooth. The stem, at least, is so smooth that my GMK laser set was literally flying off if I typed on it wrong. It's very, very interesting. And let me show you what I mean. When a switch is literally too smooth. Wow. It's crazy. And I mean, the non-UU stem didn't have the same problem. I measured out the stems and I compared it to other stems. It's not a tolerance or size problem. It is literally, I think the UU is just too smooth. And it's making the GMK keycap, the ABS, just fly off. Very interesting, something to note. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the bottom line. The good. I thought that I was going to have to wait quite a bit because the Infinity Key is based out of Vietnam. However, they do have a US proxy based out of Virginia, at least for me. And so I got my switches in just a couple days. There are very nice colors for all of these different switches, although most of the colors are sold out now. You can also pick these switches up at Monstar Gear in Korea, out of Korea. They seem to have a lot more colors in stock, but the shipping is gonna, drastically increase the cost of the switch. The UU variant is extremely smooth stock. They both sound pretty decent, and the palm stem is pretty much the longest pole if you're into that. The bad. I personally really don't like how the switch material and the manufacturer are a secret. I'm all for more transparency. I like as much information as possible so that us, the buyers, can have, the most information, the most transparent experience, so we know what we're getting for our money. Full disclosure, I bought these switches with my own money. Infinity Key did not send them to me for review or anything like that. I wanted to get them because, I wanted to check them out and see what they're all about. I don't like the fact that I don't know where these switches come from. To the point where I'm having to sit here and compare like all these different switches. Kind of sad. Maybe they're keeping it a secret because it's a pirated Zaku or something. I don't know. There are differences between the switches where I don't think this is a Zaku, but it is pretty interesting that they are kind of the same. Zakus are made by Texi, so that kind of just furthers my suspicion that the cow is a Texi manufactured switch, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Honestly, I guess the price, they aren't the cheapest switch. These are $650 for a 10-pack, which makes it easy to figure out. It's 65 cents a switch. That kind of puts it right in line with a lot of the other pretty good switches. Zakus, the aforementioned Zakus, are 55 cents a switch. And shipping is pretty comparable between Bolsa and Infinity Key. And so at the end of the day, I guess, what does the cow give you that, for example, a Zaku or an Alpaca or even a Jwick at this point doesn't give you? The cool colors are nice. You can kind of color coordinate if you're into that. I personally am, so I would say they're worth it if you're into kind of just trying new switches, but if you're just looking for like that one endgame linear, I'd probably say it's a fine switch. It's a decent switch, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of people that end up just throwing them up for sale only because there's nothing really that different about them that I can see. So what is the bottom line? The bottom line is I prefer the UU variant myself. I'm going to be using the UU variant lubed and filmed in one of my upcoming builds, so I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with these, but I think you can save yourself some money and probably get yourself a equally refined and nice experience for a little less money, checking out some other linear switches if you're into that. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate you. And it is so hot that I am literally sweating in places I did not know I could sweat. So, whew, and my thermostat is slowly crawling up. It's 84 degrees right now. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you haven't already, go ahead and destroy that like button. I'll appreciate you forever so we can, bow down to our YouTube algorithm overlords. I'm MakerMods, and I'll catch you in the next video.